I want to touch on something. Well, this actually may get pretty lengthy. Uh, when you do knife shows, I see a lot of guys, hey, don't put a whole lot of knives on the table. See, guys, I myself, I fill a table up with knives. So you get into kind of two categories of knife makers. You get the guys that make the collector stuff, the artwork stuff, and yes, if you're doing artwork knives, you're doing collector knives, very few on the table would tend to help you, because the guys that's collecting them, they don't want you to have 150 knives you're selling to, because they're collecting them. I can see that. On the other end, I make working knives. I want the guys to be able to come up, look through what I got. If I've got 3 of one kind on the table, they got 3 different handles on 3 different finishes. I don't want a customer walking away saying, well, I wish you would have had this knife just a little bit different. I'd rather have 3 of that knife and have 3 different finishes, 3 different handles. And just to give you a little background, I've been in sales, customer service, I've sold cars, I've sold bait and tackle industry for 20 years. I've pretty much always worked in customer service. I've sold pole barns, I built pole barns. So, I mean, I kind of know a little bit about sales. If you say you're looking for a new car, okay, you got plenty of money, you want something nobody else has got, you go to a Porsche, Lamborghini, whatever dealership. I don't know what some of the new fancy cars are, but yeah. Do you want to be able to walk up there and they have 1,000 of them on the lot because that's what they're going to sell? No. You want to know that's kind of an exclusive deal and you ain't got a whole lot to pick from there, and yeah. So that's where you get your 6, 7 knives on the table. On the other end, if you're looking for a work truck, are you going to stop at a lot that's got 10, 12 trucks on it? You're going to go to a lot that's got a ton of vehicles on it, because you want to pick out what you want. And that's kind of the difference. But if something else I want to touch on is the clothing, dress wise. I wear a t-shirt 90% of the time. If it's warm at the knife show, I'll wear a t-shirt, nice jeans. Of course, my t-shirts got my logos on them. They've got logos on the back. If it's cool, I've got a Carhartt fire retardant that's got my logos on it that I wear. If you're selling knives to people that's going to use them, you want to look. You want to, first of all, let's back up here. So first of all, you want to dress how you're comfortable. If you're used to wearing jeans, t-shirts, whatever, you're going to feel odd in a suit. If you're used to wearing suits, ties, you're going to feel odd in t-shirt and jeans. So dress comfortable, because you need to be yourself. If you're not yourself and you're not quite there, people can tell. If you don't feel comfortable, they don't feel comfortable. So dress how you feel comfortable. Next note, if you're wearing t-shirts and jeans, make sure they're nice. Don't wear something you would work into the show to sell a knife. If you're selling artsy knives, of course you're going to dress up. If you're selling the average working knife, not so much. The next thing I would really say is know your product. You need to be able to answer any question that is asked. Guy walks up, he's looking at a knife, say it's 80 CRB2, and he says, "Does this make a good skinning knife?" Well, what do you consider a good skinning knife? He says, "I want it to hold an edge. I want it to be easy to clean up, low maintenance." Well, maybe 80 CRB2 is not for you, because 80 CRB2 rusts really, really quick. But what I do have in the same knife is I usually tell them S30B, Magna Cut, no maintenance, they're stainless. Edge retention is ridiculous. Not that the edge retention on 80 CRB2 is not good. If you're heat treating it right, it's better than any knife you're going to buy at the store. But the edge retention on S30B is ridiculous. It's pretty good edge retention. Lower toughness. Don't be prying on a S30B knife. And I'll tell them all this, not just like this, but I'll walk them through. But you've got to know your product. They may ask, what's the hardness on your knives? You need to know that. What handle material is. I do a card. So I do a card. This is my business card. Got QR on the front, goes straight to my Facebook. QR code on the back, goes straight to my YouTube channel. This is the back of my card. It's got the steel. It's got what the handle material is, what style it is, and it's got what finish is on the blade. If you've got 100, even if you got 30 knives on the table, it is so freaking hard to remember what steel that knife is without it being on the knife or on the card. If you're just getting started, if you don't have a laser, this is the best way to go. Write it on the back of the card, keep the card with the knife during the process. I stamp all mine. So this one here, this has got an 8 stamped on it, which on my little chart tells me this is 80 CRB2. This one here has a 5 stamped on it, which tells me that's 52-100. So on and so forth. Blue Super, D2. I know what that blade is up until it is finished, ready for handles. Once the handles is on, I've already took these blades in there and laser etched what they are on the blade. So I do my cards afterwards. I can look at the blade, it's going to have the date on it, it's going to have what steel it is on it. I do my logo. Some of them I will do some characters on, like Eurohead deer and bull cutters. I usually do the little bull covering up on, but yeah, when we get into this stuff, you really need to know what your steel is. You need to know all about your product, and you need to be excited about your product. You've got to find something that will make your product stand out, whatever it is. These knives I do, myself, I do file work all the way around. That makes my knife stand out. They've got an excellent heat treat on them. I'm not heat treating in the forge, I'm heat treating in the oven. I know exactly what the heat treat is. It's like a recipe. You hit this number, you quench it, you temper it this, you get this result, plus or minus 0.5. Unless something happens in your steel, we'll get into that one of these days. But that's just it. When you go to the shows, you've got to be comfortable, you've got to be knowledgeable. You've got to dress up just a little bit, but don't dress up so much you're not comfortable. Know your product. be able to answer your customers' questions. And like I said, if you're doing them art knives, 5, 6, I can understand that. If you're doing knives to sell that are everyday users, everyday carry, I put all mine on table, and I probably always will. We're gonna go ahead and call that it for this video. I know it's running longer than I really wanted to. I didn't want to make it kind of a rant, but just kind of inform you guys. Some of you guys some of you guys are at that point where you've got 7 or 8 knives made. You're thinking about going to a show, but you're not sure what the show is going to be about. That's pretty much it. You want signage on your table, who you are. I've got a little placard that says Walker Knives, says Forged and Fire Champions, got my season, episode number on it. I've also got a little placard that shows lifetime warranty. I've got a sheet copied out of Dr. Laren Thomas's book that shows all the different knife steels, what the edge retention is, what the toughness is. I keep that on the table just so I've got a reference to show people where they don't have to take my word for it. They can actually see it right there in black and white. I've got my warranty sheet on there. My knives come with a lifetime warranty. Just as long as they're not abused. If you're using them for a pry bar, hammer, no. I do make my knives, if you're buying a camp knife, that is the knife that you can abuse the most. I blew back the spine. They're made for camping. If you're gonna split firewood, you know, you can baton through a piece of firewood. That's just kind of, I let guys know up front, do not abuse the knives that are not made to abuse. 80 CRB2 is tough, 52 100 is tough, W2 is pretty tough. Stainless, no. Not very much stainless tough unless you're into AEBL, and I'm not a big fan of AEBL because the edge retention on it is not to my liking. That don't mean it's bad steel. But we're gonna go ahead and end the video here. As always, please like and subscribe. We haven't got to the monetary yet, but we're trying to get there. Once we get there, we can start buying and doing more stuff for the channel. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me a message, comment. I don't mind. I'll watch. I try to answer them as quick as I can. But that's all I've got for you today. Alright guys, one more thing I got to throw in here. I know I said that was the end of the video. If you think about it, you go buy a Lamborghini, which is about the same as an art knife. Art knife, I consider an art knife as something that's going to sit on the shelf, get looked at. It's never going to get used. Does that mean don't do it right? No. That means you want to make sure it's hard. If somebody ever uses it, you want it to be the best knife they've ever used. But the art knife's kind of like a Lamborghini. If you're going to go buy a Lamborghini, you're going to drive it on special occasions. Otherwise, it's there to brag about and look at. If you're buying a work truck's going to be something you're in every day. You're going to be using it every day. It's a whole different purchase. And that's kind of like the knives that I make. They're made to be work horses and used every day. So that's kind of the analogy in the that I was using on the cars is Lamborghini's not going to get used much. It's going to get looked at a lot more. It's more of something to brag about. That's going to be your Damascus stuff, your gorgeous stuff, and I've made knives that's set on shelves. I understand. Workhorse, it's going to get used every day.